Okay, I'm in Felsted with Paul here, who runs Fresh and Wild with Zoe, who's hiding behind her back. She's a bit on the camera shy. So, Paul, can you describe me where you go to with your fish store?
So, right, we do predominantly mainly Essex, but we've just opened up now. We're doing Hammersmith, Kensington and Fulham at the weekends as well. But predominantly, so Tuesday we're in Writtle, kind of cover the Chelmsford area. Wednesday we're just about to sign the contract. We'll be going into the garden centre. And that's up at Braintree, Freeport. Thursdays, nice little sleepy village in Felsted. Friday, it's kind of our home, Great Lees, every Friday. They're all 9 till 3, and then Saturday we're going to Shalford, Village Hall.
And where do you get your fish from?
So a lot of it is predominantly, because we do have obviously the stalls in London, stalls in Essex, you have to source it all over. Today we've got, in abundance, we've got a great deal straight out of Peterhead. So the cod is, if you get into that, it is absolutely amazing. It's what you want to see. You want to see the shine, the nice colour, the glow. So yeah, predominantly our cod, haddocks, monkfish, all out of Scotland in Peterhead. My brother's based in Brighton and Newhaven. So we are like, if my son jumps on board, it'll be 4 generations of being fishmongers. But yeah, I moved out to Essex a few years ago and then restarted the business after kind of falling out of love with it for a little bit. But jumping back in, you've got the organic salmon, it's out of Scotland, Scottish wild halibut. The skate comes out of Brighton and Newhaven, or sometimes we use a company, TNT Shellfish, they're based in Devon. Snapper, there's some from Mexico. We have an exotic company that does our tuna, swordfish. 2 types, I think. One's from Mexico and one is from, I'm trying to remember now. I've forgotten where the other ones were from. No problem. Right, then we've got things like your Shetland mussels. They're all rope grown. And then we do a wild Welsh mussel, which are beautiful, slightly heavier, really nice and plump. We get the Dorset clams in and another brand. Hand dive scallops, sashimi scallops. If you look at those, they literally are gorgeous, translucent colour. Yeah.
And what? So I mean, most people don't really go down to fish stores any longer. Why would you tell people? Why should they come down here and buy stuff off you?
You've got to. I mean, if you're a foodie, I am a foodie. If you want fresh fish, like we used to have a site up at Humphreys, the big abattoir, and you know, if you want meat, what do? You're going to go to the butcher. If you want fish, you need to go to the fishmonger. You know, Sainsbury's, you know, places like that, they sell fish, but they're not fishmongers. I remember growing up in the business, and was it Lady Sainsbury? They came to us, and we used to be in Steve Hatts in Islington. That's where I first started the trade, and then yeah, all their stuff was bought from us. And though we sell fish, we're not fishmongers. Those were our words. And then yeah, so
if you had a tip for somebody who was a complete idiot who came along, never bought fish before, only ever been in Sainsbury's, had fish and chips, and that's about it. What would be your tip for this time of year? What should they go for? And how do they know if something looks good, or what should they buy?
So you always want a good indication is the eyes. You want a nice clear eye. You know, shine you're looking for. So if you can get the shine from the fish, that capture. If the camera's going to capture it there, it wants to be nice and shiny, which is always a good sight. With the gills, they need to be nice and red. Let's have a look at some of these mackerel. I mean, they're stonkers. Now, these are from Scotland. You tend to find the Cornish are a bit better in colour, but you always want a nice red gill. Obviously, like anything, once the rigor mortis comes in, that's always a good sign. 24 hours out of the water, you should be able to hold it. You know, it should bend like that, but where they net them, you kind of lose the stiffness. So yeah, they're just starting and they are netted. Beautiful fish. But yeah, that's always a great, you want a nice eye. Super clear, but they're netted again today. But yeah.
And where do you get the fish themselves?
All over, as I said, predominantly we use Peterhead for things like the monkfish, which is Scotland.
And they ship it down overnight, or how
we've got a supplier. So if you're buying like out of Devon, Cornwall, there's a big company called Cornwall Transport.
Yeah.
and what you do, let's say you might bid, right, if you pay £15 a kilo, it just goes on to transport, their pay. So as long as your order's 20 kilos or 25 kilos, you have to make the weight, it gets shipped down. Like, yeah, which is lovely, and you're getting it. Sometimes there's a company we use, Kono Sashimi. Dylan used to be like, right, Paul, that's the order. At 4 o'clock the boats would come in and he'd have it packed, go on an APC, and you'd have it by like 10 o'clock in the morning, 9 o'clock in the morning. And yeah, that's the night. But we use everyone. But yeah, predominantly it comes into Cornwall Transport, which is based in Enfield. Then all the trucks and lorries drop it to the shop or wherever you are, or you can collect. But
okay, cool. And so what's left then is for me to have something for tonight. So what would you recommend for us to eat tonight?
what would I recommend? I think being cold, the weather's out. How about some nice fish and chips?
Fish and chips?
Fish and chips. Yeah. We could do you some beautiful, I mean that cod is absolutely stunning. I'll trim that up, make sure it's totally pin boned. You'll have 2 whopping nice big portions from there.
Okay, you fancy fish and chips?
Fish and chips?
Yeah. Cool,
Sound good?
Sounds good.